Happy New Year and happy MLK weekend, everyone. As we closed out the foundation last year, we reflected on our programming and the impact we've been able to have collectively with all of you. And 2024, we had some amazing wins. We spent over $2.5 million directly to therapists, BIPOC therapists, for therapy sessions. We created over 30 unique programs for our therapists and our participants that was viewed by thousands of them. But also we were able to have millions of digital impressions on our social content. And that for us is a win. But we also were able to have some takeaways from 2024. We noticed as we are embarking on our 5th year at the foundation, one of the same themes that we have come across every single year is supply and demand. Meaning the amount of therapists available versus the amount of participants that they can see isn't lining up. Some of our folks, it's taking them 6 months to a year to find a therapist that will take them on. And that's hard to hear. But the other thing we have noticed is that more Americans are feeling anxious and loneliness. And this is something we've seen. But also, according to the US Surgeon General, America is currently in an epidemic of loneliness and isolation. And a lot of that, we actually see it on our end for our participants. But the other thing that we are noticing and our takeaway from last year is fear. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear of the unknown, especially for BIPOC folks. And a lot of BIPOC groups are scared about funding opportunities and the amount of attacks that folks have seen on corporate DEI programs or DEI programs in general. It really makes people feel like, am I safe? And one of the things at the foundation, we really wanted to embark on this 2025 year, leading in and leaning in with joy. Again, I always say life is an emotional roller coaster. What you face today is not what you may face tomorrow. But one of the things we can control is our own personal joy. That's something we can control. We can protect our peace. And that's what the foundation is here for. It's to show you those tools, how to use it, and how to be successful with it. Because we have always had these peaks and valleys throughout all of history. Nothing has ever been perfect. Nothing. But the one thing that we have always fallen back on is joy. Even in the hardest times, there's still some form of figuring out, how do I bring this joy to myself? Whether through music, whether through action, whether through writing, but joy. And that's what we want to focus on, is that joy. But also, one of the things we're really excited for in 2025 are 2 initiatives that we are launching. One, we are in a partnership with an amazing tech platform called MindRight. This one we're really excited about because this partnership actually allows us to bring technology, life coaching, therapy, and our participants all within a tech-based. And it is something that we are realizing that technology is just as imperative as we are navigating this world, and having this partnership allows us to give more access to folks, to therapists and life coaches, and maybe not so much the traditional way of therapy, but we're curious, is this a way that we can continue to support folks and handle this supply and demand? So stay tuned. We're excited to share that partnership with you. And the other thing we're going to be doing is raising funds for therapists who are trying to get their licensure. One of the things we have been able to focus on and create a focus group actually with our therapists in our directory partnerships is really figuring out why is there so much of a supply and demand issue right now. And one of the things that we came back to realizing through our focus group is that the clinical hours that therapists have to complete in order to get their licensure, the majority of the time, like 90% of the time, they're not paid. And it takes them about 3 years to complete. And every state hours is very different. But when we asked our therapists what would have helped you finish off, overwhelmingly everyone said if we were able to just get a small living stipend, I would have been able to finish out that program without being in debt. So that's what we want to do, is provide that ease, because the amazing support our therapists give us, because they are the DNA to our program, we also know burnout is real, and it is imperative that we think about the next group that's going to be coming in, and how do we support them, and how do we increase these numbers. So we're excited about that. But really, 2025 for us is going to be a year of patience, a year of us being determined to provide folks with a safe space, and feeling that when you come to us on social, that you are getting a warm hug, a warm, friendly reminder to breathe, and that everything will be okay. So, some of the things everybody always asks is, how can we support? And I really like to break it down into 3 different categories. One is, you have no money whatsoever, and we get that. But this is the most simplest and easiest, and actually really financially beneficial for us, is like us on our social platforms. For every like you give us on one of those social platforms, in the long run, it will equate to dollars for us. So follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, follow us on YouTube. Follow us on all of our platforms. That one little like actually allows us to spread our message about what we do and reach a broader audience, because really what we're just trying to do is destigmatize mental wellness and make people feel like they are not alone in this. So that's how you can help us. The other way that you can help us is follow us on our newsletter. Keep informed of what we're doing. This is your investment. We want you to know all the amazing work that we are doing and where we are putting our money. And then the other way that you can support is start a giving circle. This is something that people don't really think about, but get 5 of your friends and decide like, hey, this month, let's all each put together $25 and put it towards a nonprofit. Now, if you do that for us, that covers 1 therapy session for a Black woman. Something as simple as that. So we appreciate you, and we hope that this MLK weekend, you find joy. And if you do have joy, share it with us on social media. We want to see it. We want to basically change the algorithm where we are not just seeing the doom scrolling, but we're able to see the joy scrolling. Because the more we laugh, the more we smile, the less lonely we feel. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to keep you informed about what we're doing at the foundation. Happy New Year again, and happy MLK weekend.